Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Halloween Horror Month. We are on Scary Movie 5 or... A lot of people were confused when this came out because they did it like, is this a sequel? Is it a reboot? Because to signify the 5, they did a Roman numeral V, but I'll show you. They put it in the middle of the thing. So people were like, is this a remake? Sequel? I choose to believe it's in its own world. By the way, when does that happen? I don't remember that. I just watched the movies. There's a deleted scene. Even before I watched it, I remember that. But so the story here is that the fourth one was supposed to be the last one. It was supposed to do any more. It was supposed to be over. You know, that sort of thing. But there have been rumblings in the recent years before this about a fifth film coming out. I had been checking the internet because I was so ready for another installment. So I was on Wikipedia, which anyone can edit, and I learned this the hard way. With this and with Saw, because someone had edited Wikipedia to reveal certain things about Saw, such as Adam was still alive, and the body that they found was actually Detective Taps moved in there because he died in the video game, and that would make that canon. But then Adam was still alive, and he helps Hoffman out of the bathroom at the end because Hoffman was the one who saved him from Amanda. And then you have two forces. You have Hoffman's side, which is him and Adam, and then you have the other side that are like John Kramer supporters. But that never happened. And then we got Jigsaw, which had nothing to do with it. But as I was looking at information on this, they had a cast list. Not only were they bringing back Cindy and Brenda, but also Mahalik, CJ, Shorty, and Ray. Like, characters are coming back. This was going to be a big thing. And then there was nothing. I kept reading about it. And then the trailer for this. Came out. I don't know if I even checked other things, but the trailer for this came out, and I was just like, first of all, Simon Rex is one of the stars of this movie, and I'm just like, well, he was George, and he technically died in between the third and the fourth film, right? But now he's playing someone else. He's playing Dan. And Ashley Tisdale was the star. Yeah, playing Jody. So, yeah, we got this. I went to the theater to see this. Rewatching this now, you know what? It's not that bad. People write this off because they're like the others, but I have sat here and watched all 5 of these now over the course of a day and a half. And let me tell you, maybe even a day, because I think I started the first one at this point, or maybe earlier yesterday. So over a day now, it's taking me to watch them. And let me tell you, I think this was the first one that I was genuinely, it's fresh, it's new, it's a new director, Malcolm D. Lee, I think is the director. Jason Freeberg and Aaron Seltzer are back to write it, but David Zucker is also a producer on this. So there's connections to the past films, but this is a fresh coat of paint. I feel like 3 and 4 were when it was getting stale, especially 4. They were rehashing stuff. There's new jokes in this. There's some fresh stuff in this. It's a breath of fresh air, really. The story is a mix of Mama, Paranormal Activity, specifically Paranormal Activity 2, with throwing in Planet of the Apes, or Rise of the Planet of the Apes, because that was a thing then. Black Swan, and there's one more, right? And various other ones that pop in. But those 4 are the main story entanglements. So we start off with a Paranormal Activity ripoff with Charlie Sheen and Lindsay Lohan playing themselves, because the jokes write themselves with those. Long story short, Charlie Sheen dies and Lindsay Lohan gets arrested because Apparently the cops did it on purpose. We get a fake Morgan Freeman narration. It's not really Morgan Freeman. I think it's an impersonation. I don't think it's even him doing the voice. And so this is Mama. Because the 3 kids, it's 3 in this one. It's only 2 in Mama, but it's 3 here because we only have to do Mama, but the baby from Paranormal Activity 2. So, 3 kids. First I was like, why is there 3? And then I realized, oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Dan, whose last name is not Sheen for some reason. You know, they could have done an in-joke and said his last name is Estevez. Dan Estevez. You know, but it's Dan Sanders, which doesn't make much sense. And his girlfriend, Jody, we do the thing from Mama where she's trying to prove she's not pregnant. And it's a wig, much like in... No, it's not a wig. In that movie, it's not a wig. And here it is a wig. I don't think it's a wig in Mama. She actually has... Just because that Chastain actually has that hair. But in that movie. It's a wig in reality, but you know. But they do a thing where, like, she doesn't want kids, and he's like, oh, come on. Takes off the wig. Hey! And then takes off the fake tattoos. And just, she's Ashley Tisdale now. It's, you know. Because, and this is probably what I thought then and think now. Okay? Ashley Tisdale is the Cindy replacement. So... she has to be blonde. And so they can't just have her on the wig the entire movie and copy that. She's blonde now. Yes. And she's also the catalyst for Black Swan because her mom was a dancer. It's Heather Locklear in a cameo. And so she tries out for the new Swan Lake where she meets her Brenda replacement, Erica Ash, playing Kendra. Yeah, she's just the replacement for Brenda. That's all she is. She starts off different, and then as the movie goes on, she just even starts to talk like her. Oh, come on, girl. Just like, she's Brenda. He's Brenda. So you know the gist with Mama, right? They find the girls, and boy. They find the kids. The doctor is played by Daryl Hammond, but again, it's another recast from a previous film that can be excused because this is in different continuity. So, yeah, Simon Rex is here, but he's a different character. And you have Charlie Sheen is playing himself even. And then you have Daryl Hammond in a different role. And even Molly Shannon is here playing a different role as well. She was Tom's wife. Which I forgot to mention that Tom Ryan in the previous film was played by Craig Bierko. Forgot to mention that, but it was him. He's not in this. But, you know. Our Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes parody is where Dan works. I almost called him George, where Dan works. And Terry Crews is his boss for some reason. Oh, Evil Dead was the other one. Evil Dead was the other one. I just remember that. And it's the remake Evil Dead. So... yeah. So, yes, and there's Caesar. They named the gorilla Caesar. There is. I will say that I thought they abandoned the found footage aspect, but they actually stick with it quite a bit, which is interesting because the Wayans would do their own version of Paranormal Activity called A Haunted House, which would get a sequel. And did Keanu Ivan Wayans direct those? Michael Titties? Michael Titties. I don't know. Anyway. So, there's a lot of stuff that is there to just, like, pat on time a little bit. Like, there's jokes. There's a lot of jokes that hit for me. Like, Simon Rex getting beat up all the time. They do this joke where... So, one of the plot points in Mama is that the main characters, the Nicola Gustav Waldo's character is sent to the hospital. So he gets sent to the hospital twice in his both accidents, and they utilize the fast forwarding thing they do with Paranormal Activity movies. Yeah, there's even one where they fast forward a fight between him and the Hispanic nanny, where they're fighting, and she runs him over, and shows up at work still messed up, and he's about to explain what's going on. The nanny returns, their housekeeper returns and attacks him, and that leads to all of the apes being released. So, and it also leads to a joke that I liked, where there's a 911 call. A 911 call said that she and her lover were making love when the apes attacked. And it says, your husband okay? Says, oh, it's not my husband. My husband is that anchor for the news. They're airing this on the news. The anchor's right there. So he can't hear this. Who cares? He's sleeping with that co-anchor of his anyway. She's such a bitch. I did like that. What else? I must watch this damn movie and I can't. Oh, there's a gag that kind of comes back at the end where Mac Miller, rest in peace, and Snoop Dogg are walking through the forest. They're the ones that find the kids in this one. And like, oh, we're going to have a lot of money. We're going to make it, They wanted to... They make a joke that, we're just going to roll one blunt, and then it cuts, and they had this big-ass blunt that they're running with, which is kind of funny. Yeah, one, You know what would have been funnier? Even if it was just for a cameo, if that was Shorty and Ray. I'm just saying, but yeah, you got two. Snoop Dogg's another good one. By this point, they were up in their celebrity cameos. 3 is when they started going with it, but then 4 really abused it, and then this one, I think they utilized them well. Playing himself. Mike Tyson is in this, so they do an Inception gag at one point with an actor who's actually doing a pretty good Leonardo DiCaprio impersonation, where they do Inception stuff. One day I'm going to have to review that movie and I have to figure out how the hell I'm going to try to explain it. This movie's so weird. I had a hard time going through Tenet, but, Tenet, which is Tenet backward, huh? But anyway, so, they're going through different dreams, and one of them is a Christian Grey dream. Now, this was before the 50 Shades of Grey movie came out, so this is just based off the book. And they got Jerry O'Connell to play Christian Grey. Apparently there was 2 different versions of this, because during the credits they play an alternate take where he slips on like some baby oil or something, gets caught in a trap. And also I think that in that version it wasn't a dream, because she talks about ballet. Maybe they changed it. I don't know. But this is before the movies came out, so it was just the book. And she has the book in her thing. And, yeah, Mama. And apparently, Mama, is this thing that came with them. And they connected to the Evil Dead by saying that Mama read from the book and it turned her into the creature. And then, this happened. So, this is why I'm saying that they kind of pad for time here, because this Inception thing goes on. There's one dream where they're standing there, sitting, it's the thing where they sit at the cafe and they're talking, right? Where he and Elliot Page are sitting there. Ellen Page at the time, but Elliot Page are sitting there and they're talking. And in this one, they're talking back and forth, and like, he's like, think of something, anything you want. She's like a crotch on fire, and his pants set on fire, and then he makes her boobs bigger, and then she gives him boobs, and it cuts, and he's going like this, the dream thing, which I guess was hard for her to concentrate because she was laughing so much. I think of gags that take too long, and we're sitting here going, okay, end it. But I never think about what the actors have to do to not burst out laughing or not, freak out. Because there's takes in the credits where Ashley Tisdale has to wait for Molly Shannon to complete her part where she kind of runs. She's on crutches at this point. She goes into the stall, and it takes so long that she has to sit there and do the entire time waiting for that to happen. And You know, it could be a struggle. I'm not an actor, so I wouldn't know what it's like, but, you know, I never thought of it that way. But anyway, the next dream is the Christian Grey dream, the 50 Shades of Grey dream, and then it cuts. He goes, I don't know where the hell that came from. She goes, me either. And then the third dream is... Is there one, or is it that they'll go straight to the one that I find out? But it goes on for a while. Oh, by the way, there's two there's an only Disney alum in this movie. J.P. Manon, who I know from Aaron Stone, and Phil of the Future is in this. So, he was Curtis the Caveman and the principal in Phil of the Future, and he was a robot, a butler sidekick thing in Aaron Stone. So, but anyway, so yeah, and so after this though, there is more stalling because they start looking up cabins in the woods, and then everyone leads to a porn site, which is reality. Sometimes you're gonna look up something, it's gonna lead you to that. They won't go straight to the site though, because the search engine will just lead you to a page. You know, anything you search. I'm not saying just porn, but like anything you search in a search engine is gonna lead you to a whole bunch of results, not gonna take you right to a page. You know, but by the way, something that I just noticed with this is there something that I didn't talk about in this. Look at that. Gorilla. Apparently, it was a King Kong parody because the Peter Jackson movie came out. This is 4, by the way. I don't know. It wasn't in there. But anyway, so again, they're stalling, doing this joke where they keep finding the porn site, and then they're like, okay, we gotta go find this cabin, and they leave Dan, I'm just calling George again, in charge, watching the kids, and then they go to a club, and if that wasn't enough, they have a lesbian sequence that is given to us in a PG-13 way by showing us just like 2 tacos hitting each other, or one train tunnel hitting another train, slamming into another train tunnel, 2 hot dog buns sliding across each other. We get it, okay? A tongue going through like a little slit. We get it, okay? We get it. You know, I mean, they did the same thing in Babysitter Killer Queen, where they kind of did like a dance thing to signify because they were actually just teenagers. So, but yeah, this is a creative way to do it in PG-13. But then that doesn't lead to anything. They don't go to the cabin. She wakes up the next day, and she's late for the ballet thing. Kendra is taking her spot. When she confronts her about it, she's like, no, that never happened. She goes home. She sees that whatever the drugs were that Kendra gave her made her think that they did it, and she was really rubbing a tree. She's like, well, that explains the poison ivy. And then she's like, I'm in a lamp, and there's a microwave, and then there's other stuff in the microwave. I don't know. Mama comes across the screen. But no, because they did hook up, but she didn't want to say it in front of them because she's hooking up with someone else there, apparently. There's also a gag, literally, where it's a thing, oh, I have to be a certain way. So she eats one Cheerio, and then Kendra brings out a pizza, which now I want pizza for supper, so I'm going to have to postpone my burgers till tomorrow. Or burger, sorry, till tomorrow. But now I want pizza. So, and then, like, this other dancer eats part of the cardboard box. And then the very next scene, Kendra's in the bathroom, and she pukes up the... Not Kendra, but... Jody's in the bathroom, and she pukes up the Cheerio, and it comes out all intact, which wouldn't do that. It would come out little pieces, if even. And that's when they do the bathroom shot, but... Yeah. So, after the outbreak of the apes, Caesar goes to live with them, and because Caesar's the smartest one in the fucking house, causes issues, and he gets taken away. But before that, though, Jody and Kendra go to the cabin in the woods, and we see very young versions of Tyler Posey, right? And what's her face from Modern Family, the older sister. I forget the actress's name. They're young. Katrina Bowden is there, and there's actually a connection because I believe, no, that was someone else. I thought she was the babysitter of Paranormal Activity 3, but that's someone else. She's here, and then Bow Wow is also here. And so Jody and Kendra go down, and they're to show us the difference between now and the possessed. They're Jesus freaks. Go tell it on the mountain. But they also kept in the thing about one of them is an addict, but she's addicted to energy shots instead of drugs. Because being addicted to drugs would be something too far for a Jesus freak, I guess. Energy shots is PG enough, I guess. But, yeah, so Jody and Kendra go down to the basement, and they find the book, and you read the book, it is something Klaatu Barada Nikto. And that activates everything, and then to deactivate it, you say Adunda. And it's a joke, because they say the 3 words, and weird stuff happens, they start mutilating each other, whatever, and they say Adunda, and it goes away. They never figure it out, because it cuts upstairs and we see it. And they're like, what happened? My arm's missing. And they do it again. Stuff starts happening. And then they say Adunda. And what? I'm like, and then like, Tyler Posey is sitting there. He's a paraplegic now. He's got no arms, no legs, and no penis apparently. He's like, well, I have to pee. My penis is over in the corner because the joke is that, I don't know the joke. Those people, they do it again, and they start freaking out, and then they never say Adunda again. And then apparently they keep saying it on the drive there, but nothing ever comes of that. I thought it was going to lead to something, but it doesn't. Alright, so let's get to the climax then. After Caesar is taken away, which he says that, I can talk, the family's in danger, because he couldn't talk at first, and when he's taken away, then he can talk. But then he never shows up again till the end. I'm assuming he was the one at the end, but maybe not. But, so, the climax, of course, takes place just like the climax of Mama on the cliff. And much like Jessica Chastain in that movie, Jody convinces the girls to stay. Both girls this time, instead of, which the baby was never taken, I don't think, but both girls this time instead of just one. And Mama is kicked off a cliff instead, and she lands in the pool where Snoop Dogg and Mac Miller are. I don't know. And then her story comes full circle as she gives Kendra the Black Swan thing, and they watch it through various fanfare. By the way, there's a Medea joke in this that is probably one of the things that roll my eyes. They do it at the beginning of this, and they do it again. Wait, the thing in the beginning was the flashback showing what happened to Jody's birth and her mom and everything. And they show it at the end. They're there again. The same women with Medea, and it doesn't make any sense because she didn't age. That doesn't make any sense. And then in the credits, they show bloopers and alternate takes, I think, too. This is actually not bad. I would actually, I actually like this one. You could tell they actually put some effort in this, I think, compared to the last two. I think, because this came out past the period of spoofs. So you think, between Scary Movie 4 and this, you had movies like Date Movie, Epic Movie, Meet the Spartans, Disaster Movie, Dance Flick, Super Fast, Superhero Movie, stuff like Extreme Movie, which I still don't think was a spoof, because I watched that before and it wasn't really a spoof. But like, Meet the Blacks came out after this, but like, there's other ones. There are other ones that came out that just got so stagnant. The Hungover Games, The Starving Games, Vampires Suck, Breaking Wind. Yeah. So, and it got stale and stagnant to the point that, I went away. But someone had handled this one with care. We're bringing back Scary Movie. It didn't do well at the box office, but I actually don't mind it. So, with that in mind, I'm going to give it I'll give it pretty good. I had to think on it. So, what are your thoughts on Scary Movie 5? When it comes to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.